Rev up your engines. Okay, today a Toyota Corolla. It's a family affair here. The father bought it new, the son's got it now. He just learned how to drive. It's got 211,000 miles, doesn't burn any oil, but he thinks it's losing a little of acceleration. As for a usual Toyota Corolla, probably nothing's been done to it, except the oil's been changed, you know? So, before we do a whole analysis of the car, we'll try to figure out why he thinks it's a little bit slow. Start with the simple stuff. Now, we'll start out with the air filter, the number one problem, and he's been a good boy, it's clean. So it's not the air filter. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong. We're gonna look at the data later. We're gonna check the spark plugs. Who knows? They might be the original ones. So we'll pull off the beauty cover. Not that it's that beautiful. No one knows why they put them on these things. And you'll notice it's the same exact engine that's in my wife's Matrix. 1.8 liter, 4-cylinder, they can run forever. Now we'll pull out one plug and take a look at it. And they're in there tight, man. I don't think they've ever been changed. I'm gonna spray a little WD-40 in there. We'll spray some WD-40 in there. Pray we can get it out. It's working. Heck, we'll spray some more in. No, it's really easy. We're almost there. Well, my magnet's broke, so. There we go. They're the original spark plugs. You can see a little bit worn, you know, you get a little bit of stuff on it, but hey, 211,000 miles, so we'll go get some. Now, to me, it's amazing this car's got 211,000 miles. It's still the original plugs. You can see, though, the electrode is worn. It's at an angle. You can see this is crisp at a right degree angle. It's not all worn and went out, so what the heck. After 211,000 miles, times for new plugs. They're modern plugs. They're coated. You don't need to put anything on them. Don't lubricate the threads, or later on they might pop up from getting too loose. You want to get them snug. Now, if you're a fanatic, you can get a torque wrench and do it with a torque wrench, but really, this works just as good. Turn them till it's snug, and then go maybe, I don't know, 15 degrees, and that's fine. So we got the plugs in. Now we're going to hook up the computer and see what kind of shape this thing's in after 211,000 miles. Now, before we hook it up, you see, it's got a black plastic bumper because the original one got crushed. They didn't bother painting it. It just bolted on. I think it actually looks cooler myself with a black bumper. And yes, it lives in Massachusetts, so it does have rust here. There will be rust. Everything rusts in Massachusetts. More than one Toyota, so here's the Toyota key. And we will hook up the Altel scanner. And there's the creaking door. Standalone diagnosis. Read the VIN already. North America, ZZE, 2008, 1ZZFE engine. And we will do a full scan on it in a second. A topology scan. So, here we go. The interior's still in decent shape, yeah. People have been smoking in this car. He said everyone has smoked in this car. He doesn't, but previous have. And the wood grain, because it's an LE, is held in with a little bit of tape here. The dome light fell off and it's gone. Doesn't work anymore anyway. It's only got one code. Engine mobilizer system. Often these keys will trip that code. That means nothing. So we'll erase that code. We'll start her up. Typical Toyota, it starts right up. And we will look at live data. And as per usual, black is good, other colors are bad. Power, everything's good, nice and black, good data. Oxygen sensor, okay. 1.00 is perfect, so really it's almost perfect, even though it has 212,175 miles on it. Now, you have to say the door rattles a little, but that's because it all rusted out. And he got a junkyard door. You can see it's the same color as the other door, but they had a hard time getting it on, so it rattles a little. Well, look through, you can see the air fuel ratio sensor is almost perfect. 0.01. That's pretty close to perfection for a car that's as old as this is. Charging okay. Highly controlled 4-speed, same as my wife's. And everything else, you can see, is working perfectly fine. So let's take it for a spin. We'll put in gear. You notice there's no backup camera or anything, and it has the original Toyota radio, which has not only a CD player, AM, FM, and you can track it. It doesn't have a tape deck. It's a little newer than that. Take it for a drive. Realize this baby does have the original struts on it. Not that bad. Yeah, it bounces a little in the back, but hey, they got 211,000 miles on it. It's not like you're losing control or anything. It's just a little bit bouncy. It's acting up, and I'm assuming I had such a problem getting the coils out that's going to tell us we got a bad coil. So I shall turn around and come back. Realize that whenever you get old spark plugs that have never been changed, 211,000 miles, a lot of times you're going to have to go get ignition coil. check engine lights on. It will tell us which coil it is. All right, we can feel it and the engine lights on. Odds are we got a misfire because one of the coils went from taking it out and putting it in. So we'll do a quick scan here to see what it is. See which one's misfiring. And as we can see, PO351, which means the number 1 cylinder is the coil that's having the problem. This one's my fault because I was talking to the owner too much, and you can see, guess what? I didn't click this back on. Here, click. Okay, it's on. Now we'll start it up. I've already erased the code, and we'll start it up. Now it sounds normal. So here we go for road test 2 with the coil snapped on. Make sure you snap them on tight. I was doing too much talking. I should have paid more attention snapping it on. Go up the hill and it's no longer hesitating and the check engine light is on after I plugged it in tight so that it snapped on. It was obviously just sitting there. And here we go. Whoa! Hey, it almost burnt rubber. Listen to this thing. 212,000 miles. You can barely feel it shift when it shifts gears. It's a 4-speed, electronic, automatic. It's a great transmission. The engine doesn't burn on the oil. It's the same engine and transmission that's in my wife's Matrix. They just basically can run forever. The traffic never ends on West Main Street here. Here we go. And we'll step on the gas again. It gets and goes good enough, you know. It's a transportation device. It's no slouch. You gotta pass somebody, step on the gas. Look, it accelerates. It's not a race car, but hey, it's still fun to drive around. And who can complain about 37 miles a gallon on a highway? 211,000 miles in the same family that it started. Still runs fine. Now he's told me they've probably been through 4 bumpers from people smashing into things, and it still goes good. Doesn't burn oil. Gets 37 miles a gallon. Yeah, it's got the original struts in the back. Bounces a little bit, but it's totally drivable, and it's just front wheel drive. It has no problems driving in Massachusetts snow. Pretty much bulletproof vehicles if you want to get something to get you from here to there over and over and over again. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Eagle 613 says, my battery light comes on. I got a 2013 Chrysler 200 2.4 liter engine. The battery light comes on intermittently. I have a new battery and the alternator puts out 14.3 volts while I drive. There are no error codes. The light seems to come on more when I use the AC. Numero uno, change the drive belt. Because if they're loose and it slips, you turn on the AC, it'll slip, the alternator won't charge. Chrysler 200 basically is mainly Fiat technology, which is electronic crap. Find a guy like me to load test your alternator. You could easily have a bad alternator. It's starting to go out because you can get voltage. Voltage doesn't mean everything. You need to have it load tested by a good mechanic like me who can do diode ripples. We can check everything. Amperage, see if there's any kind of problems with the alternator. The pure voltage test, it tells you something, but it doesn't tell you everything. And it could easily be the alternator. Simple for us mechanics to check. Get that checked first. Of course, if the belts are old and worn and slipping, change the belts. You can see that, right? You can see how they cracked. Then when you rev up the engine, they squeal. Well, then they're loose and they're worn and you need to replace the belts. Here's one you're going to love. The latest study shows that as of today in the United States, electric vehicles are costlier to charge up than gasoline cars are to fill up with gasoline. They have all kinds of surcharges. Different areas charge more money. And a lot of them, if you use a fast charger on the road, those DC charges cost a lot of money to make, so they want to recoup their investment on that stuff. And a lot of areas have electric charging by peak usage. If you use a lot of power all at once at certain times, you're going to pay more money. So it's not like you go to a gas station, okay, that gas over there is $3.59 a gallon. You see it? That's the truth. With electricity, you got no idea what you're going to pay. People think it's going to cost less money, and that's now. If they ever do build an infrastructure and build more electric power generating stations, guess who's going to pay for all that stuff? The consumer buying the electricity. The rates will go up the roof. Most areas have just one provider. They say, well, you can get it from this, that. Everybody in most neighborhoods get their electricity from the same place. They might be paying a different company for it, but they're getting their electricity from the same place. You know, the these idiots that think I paid for the green and so I'm getting green electricity. No, you're getting electricity from the same gas-fired, coal-fired, whatever plant that generates electricity, and you're just paying more money for it in the hope that some green company will invest in stupid windmills and solar panels that don't create all that much electricity. So, people think you're going to save money buying an electric car? Dream on! And it'll only get worse in the future. Check electricity. The price keeps going up, right? Gasoline price goes up, down, up, down. Electric almost always just goes whoop, up in the air. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.